How's it going, everyone? Today we got a story time of a kid who pulls the fire alarm in school in order to skip a test. This is a pretty crazy story that I know you'll enjoy, so sit back, relax, subscribe to the channel if you're new, leave a like in the video to claim your free nothing, and with that all being said, let's just jump right into it. So the subscriber had a friend, and we're going to call the friend Ben. Anyways, the subscriber and Ben were both in this class together. And, there's pros and cons to being in class with a friend, because the pro is, you're in class with a friend. That's pretty cool. But the con is, I don't know about you, but I know that I'm definitely goofing off a little bit too much if my friend's in my class. But anyways, though, in this class, they had their first major assessment coming up. The thing about this class, too, was there wasn't really any homework, there wasn't really any quizzes, there wasn't really any papers. So that's a cool thing, but the downside to something like this is your grade is basically just the major assessments. So this was high school, so attendance was still mandatory. So it's not like in college where attendance might be part of your grade. If you didn't show up, it would negatively impact your grade, but the baseline was you showed up all the time. So literally the only things impacting the subscribers and Ben's grade were the tests. And there were probably 3 tests throughout the year. So coming up to the first test, the teacher, 2 weeks before the test, started emphasizing the importance of this test. The teacher, and also studying for it. The teacher says, hey guys, I just want to let you know, this test is really important, and it's really important that you study too. This is not a test you can wing. This is not a test that if you kind of know what's up and you've kind of been paying attention, that you can go into and get a grade that I think you'll be happy with. The teacher wasn't saying that you'd fail it necessarily, right? However, that, if you did that, even if you were kind of paying attention, you probably wouldn't have the grade that you really wanted. So, the teacher stopped giving homework 2 weeks before the test. I'm in some pretty hard classes in college right now, and my teachers don't even do that for our exams, and I guarantee you my exams are pretty hard in a lot of my classes. So it was really, really nice, but also just showed the importance of studying for this exam. So the subscriber, he admits that him and his friend Ben kind of saw this less as a incentive to study more and more of a kind of a free, I don't have to do homework for 2 weeks pass. Which, it was, and I'm going to probably make the assumption, that probably most kids in the class did not start studying for those 2 weeks, at least not very seriously. Maybe they, slept under their textbook one of the nights. Maybe they opened one page and then went on their phone on TikTok for 3 hours and then went to the next page and then went on TikTok for 3 hours. I don't think they were studying super seriously for that entire week. However, I will say that the subscriber and Ben, they were not studying, bro. So the week before the exam, the teacher is continuing to emphasize. In fact, he has completely stopped teaching new material and has just gone into review mode. So on Wednesday, their exam's on Friday. On Wednesday, the subscriber goes over to Ben and he's like, yo, dude, do you want to have a study session tonight? Because they live in the same neighborhood. They've been friends for the longest time and they're literally walking distance from each other. So Ben's like, yeah, man, that sounds good. Anyways, though, so sure enough, the subscriber is like, okay, cool. And it's the Wednesday before. And I don't know. I feel like if your teacher's been emphasizing how important studying has been and studying for a very long time, then maybe the Wednesday before isn't enough time. But I'm not going to lie. I've studied 1 or 2 days before for very difficult exams, and I've done just fine. Partially because I've, paid attention in class, but also because I think you can get a lot done if you really dedicate that time and focus. Anyways, though, so on that Wednesday night, the subscriber walks over, feeling pretty good, because he's like, I'm actually being proactive about it. Sure, I was given 2 weeks, but I doubt anyone else was really studying for these entire 2 weeks, right? And I'm actually studying on Wednesday. I'm not just cramming the night before, pulling an all-nighter, trying to jam every little bit of information to my head so I can just regurgitate it all back out. So when the subscriber gets over to the Ben's house, Ben is kind of in his room, and here's the thing. Ben's room was not set up for a conducive studying environment. And what I mean by that is Ben literally had the PS4 out. He had a game loaded in. He literally had a game loaded in the PS4. So when the subscriber walked into the room, come on now. It was like, put a gun to my head, man. I don't know. I got to play the game now. Yeah, so what happened was the subscriber gets in there. He starts to, take out the books. And Ben's like, dude, wait. We got all of tonight to do that. let's just play one game. And the subscriber knew this was a terrible idea. He knew what he was getting himself into. But at the same time, man, he was itching to play a couple rounds. So yeah, sure enough, the subscriber hops on. And after they finish the round of whatever they were playing, they kind of look at each other with this like guilty look. But this kind of look that they were both in agreement that they were going to play another round. So yeah, by the end of that night, it was like literally 2 a.m. because I think they were juniors in high school. So their parents were a lot cooler about them going to each other's houses and kind of just walking back and forth because they never really got into any trouble. Until now, I guess. But they never really got into any trouble. So it was like 2 a.m. The subscriber's like, man, I'm so tired. And the subscriber's like, oh, shoot, dude, we're supposed to be studying. And Ben's like, dude, relax. When's the test again? Subscriber's like, this Friday. And Ben's like, yeah, we have all of tomorrow. Don't even worry about it. So yeah, the subscriber, he just crashed on the couch. He wakes up the next day. They go into school together. And by the end of the day, the subscriber goes up to Ben and says, look, I'm going to go back home. I'm going to start studying. You can come over to my place. I don't know if it's such a good idea for me to come over to your place just because you got a lot of fun stuff. And Ben's like, dude, I totally agree. Just text me when you're done with your studying and then we can do our group studying. So at this point, it kind of seemed like, studying was going to occur, right? Right? Yeah, this is where you'd be wrong. So anyways, right, sure enough, the subscriber gets back home. He opens up the textbook and really is the first time takes a crack at the study guide. And he starts, I don't know if you guys have felt this. I've felt this before. You kind of underestimate the depth and breadth of the material that you need to cover. And then you open up the study guide and you start diving into it. And you kind of have a little bit of a panicky realization that I might need more than one night to figure this all out. So yeah, the subscriber was kind of getting to that point and he was starting to freak out a little bit. So he calls up Ben because he kind of feels like him and Ben are in this together. And he's like, yo, dude, because Ben picks up. He's like, what's up, man? He's like, dude, have you been looking at the study guide? This material is actually a lot harder than I thought. I thought I was paying decent attention in class, but who can focus all the time, right, man? And Ben's like, what's that? And the subscriber listens. He's like, bro, are you playing on the Xbox right now? And Ben's like, yeah, I'm in between study breaks, which was probably a complete lie. He was not, the break, it's not a break if you never started, guys. But anyways, Ben's like, dude, we need to focus on this. I'm actually kind of freaking out. I don't think I have this covered. I'm actually really upset. I'm stressed out right now. And Ben's like, dude, relax. You know what? I have a lot of my study material out. Just come over to my place. The subscriber should not have done this. He already said earlier, if he goes over to Ben's place, he knows he's just going to freak out. He's just going to not just freak out, but play. He's just going to start playing video games, right? He's just going to not pay attention. He's going to procrastinate. It's going to be like that episode of SpongeBob where he has to have the boating, in boating school, he has to write that paper on the stoplight and he does everything but write the paper. That's a great episode. But anyways, he does come over. He comes over the books. And sure enough, right, Ben is playing on the Xbox. And the subscriber's like, dude, have you even opened up the book yet? And Ben's like, dude, I'm on a study break, bro. Don't even mention that stuff. And so the subscriber is kind of, oh, by the way, if I'm mixing up Ben and the subscriber's the one freaking out. Ben's the one playing the Xbox, being way too chill. So the subscriber's kind of freaking out and Ben's like, dude, okay, I need you to take a chill pill. I'm not going to work with you if you're freaking out like this. And he kind of looks at the subscriber. He's like, look, I think you need to de-stress. And he hands him an Xbox. He hands him an Xbox controller. Bro whips out the Xbox. Yeah, no. He hands him an Xbox controller. And Ben looks at it. And the subscriber looks at it. And he knows he should not be taking this. The subscriber knows that this is the worst idea ever. But he's like, fine. One game, but no more. So yeah, let's just say that not a lot of studying happened that night. And I think the subscriber came to a realization at 1 a.m. that they had got nothing done. And he kind of forgot. He got too into the games, and he kind of forgot. He lost track of time. He completely forgot about how stressed he was. And at 1 a.m, he looks at his friend, and it all comes back to him right away. He's like, dude, what time is it? And the Ben looks over. He's like, I don't know, it's 1 or something. And the subscriber he just freezes. He's like, dude, we're going to fail that exam tomorrow. Okay, flash forward to the next day. So they're all kind of sitting there, and so their first period class is the one with the exam, and so the first period class is 8 in the morning, the subscriber and Ben did some like cram studying for like 30 minutes before they went to bed around like 2 or 2:30. And the cram studying got nothing done. It really just kind of like showed them how much they didn't know. They were really shown the extent of how much that they just did not understand what was going on. So they get there, it's like 7:45. The subscriber takes out, like, he's just looking at the study guide. He doesn't even have the answers. He's just trying to go over what he's going to see on the test. And he's just like, dude, I'm actually going to fail this. Like, and if I fail this one exam, then like I genuinely can't even recover from it. And Ben is like, okay, man, I have a plan. So the subscriber's like, all right, dude, like, what's your plan? Like, I can't logically see a way out of this. And Ben's like, I don't know if I'm going to go through with it, but I have an idea. It's going to buy some time. Trust me on this. The subscriber's like, okay. So yeah, and Ben's like, all right, but I need you, when I go to the bathroom, I need you to go with me. And the subscriber's like, what? Like, what do you mean you need me to go with you? And the subscriber, and Ben says, dude, when the exam starts, I'm going to go to the bathroom. You're going to go 2 minutes after. And the subscriber's like, okay, like, fine. So anyways, the exam starts, or they go into the room, they sit down. And the subscriber's super weirded out by this. He's also, like, really taking a risk because, I mean, he's got limited time, and he's going to need every drop of time he can get. So going to the bathroom is probably not a good idea. So he's really banking that his friend Ben is going to have some great idea. So sure enough, right, he sees his friend get up and ask to go to the bathroom. The teacher gives him a look of like, really? 2 minutes later, the subscriber asks to go to the bathroom. And the teacher's like, okay, but do realize I'm not going to give you that time back. And the subscriber's like, yep, sorry, I just got to go. And the teacher's like, okay. So he walks to the bathroom and he sees his friend waiting out there. And he's like, Ben, what's up? Like, I need to get back in there as soon as possible because I need every second of time. And Ben looks at him and says, dude, no, you don't. And the subscriber's like, what? He's like, dude, trust me on this. So they start walking around a corner and they walk up to the fire alarm. And the subscriber's like, no, we are not doing this. And Ben's like, dude, there's no other way. There's no other way to do this. And the subscriber's like, man, this is not a good idea. And Ben's like, look, there are no cameras. There's no nothing. Nobody's going to know. And the subscriber is thinking about it for a second. And he's like, I really shouldn't be doing this. This is a really bad idea. Like, something's going to go wrong. And then, Ben's like, dude, we only have a couple minutes to make this decision. We need to do this, right? He said, this will give us the entire weekend to study. We need more than a day. We need more than 10 minutes. And the subscriber's like, okay, fine. So Ben goes over, pulls down the handle of the fire alarm. Disclaimer, do not do this. Please just don't do this, okay? Don't say, or if you do it, don't say I told you to, because I'm not telling you to. This is a dumb idea. Anyways, though, pulls down the fire alarm, boom, fire alarm goes off. And when the fire alarm goes off, obviously all the classes have to file out. And in theory, their class is going to now do the test later because other kids have different periods. They can't hold them after school. Kids have classes like later. Might as well just retake the test on Monday is the theory. Also, the test just started like 5 minutes ago. So it's just not worth going back in with so much less time. They only have 50 minutes in class, so it makes sense. So anyways, right, Ben still has his hand on the fire alarm that's been pulled down. And the subscriber's like, okay, we got to go. And they both turn. And then they see a janitor looking at them. They're making eye contact with the janitor. And the janitor basically is looking at them as Ben has his hand on the fire alarm that's been pulled down and activated. So yeah, not good. Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, comment fire down below. That'll be the secret word of the day, and I'll see how many people made it this far. If you use Spotify and you don't listen to the podcast on there, first link in the description, as well as the pinned comment, is a link to the Spotify. Please make sure to follow on there and listen on there if you'd like to. Finally, up until summer, we have a little bit of a challenge. It's the binge watch challenge. Help get the watch time up for the channel. It's a little community thing. And basically what you do is tell me in the comment section how many videos you watched today, how many videos you watched this week, maybe how many videos you plan to watch today. And here's some people on screen right now that have done that. So thank you to them and thank you to you. With that all being said, let's get right back to it. So the staring contest between the janitor and the subscriber and Ben feel like it goes on for eternity. But then this janitor turns the corner and walks away. And Ben and the subscriber look at each other like, oh no, because there's no camera, there's no nothing that would have indicated that it was them. But now there was a witness. So Ben and the subscriber just like, they're looking at each other and they're just like, look, maybe the janitor doesn't say anything. And also there's no way he recognizes us. Like, I don't know him. He doesn't know us. Let's just go outside. Let's stand in single file. Let's blend in with the crowd and they're not gonna be able to point us out, says Ben. So they're walking out. And while they're walking out, the subscriber's just like, dude, in his head, he's like, dude, I know I shouldn't have done that. I should have said no. We should have just gone in, should have just taken the bad grade. Like, this is going to be a lot worse. Anyways, though, so they're all standing outside in their single file lines, and they're kind of going around, and, you know, people are doing head count. Their teacher's like, okay, like, Ben, okay, count it for you. Subscriber, okay, count it for you. They're all standing out there. Fire department comes, all that type of stuff comes. Eventually, the faculty realize that this was a manual polling, right? Someone activated this. It wasn't because of a suspected fire, most likely, and it wasn't a drill. So now they're like, okay, well, someone must have pulled it or accidentally set it off or thought that there was a fire, but we want to figure out who it is. So Ben and the subscriber are kind of standing there. The subscriber is kind of very, very uncomfortably standing there, just like, oh man, just like trying to like be like, okay, are we going to get lucky? And that's when the subscriber watches almost in slow motion as the janitor, that's the one that saw them, walks over to a faculty member, whispers something, has a little conversation with them, and then the janitor turns, scans the crowd. The subscriber tries to hide behind some people, but it's too late. The janitor points out the subscriber and Ben, and a bunch of people walk over. So the principal comes up to Ben and the subscriber and says, you two got to come with me. So basically what happens is the janitor confirms it was them. They're going to believe the janitor. The janitor's like 100% right, says I'm 100% sure. They confirm with Ben and the subscriber's teacher that they both left to go to the bathroom a little bit suspiciously, but around that time. So they basically fess up to it because they have to at this point. And yeah, they're both suspended for a week. And the teacher actually gives them a fail on that test as well. So not only did they fail that exam, which they probably were going to either way, but now they're also suspended for a week. So didn't work out. If you want to support the channel, click on one of the videos on screen right now. And if you want to support the channel and you're listening on Spotify, just listen to another podcast and peace.